new episode of the Mighty Fish Podcast. I am still Ryan here with you today, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host.
The co-host with the most.
The co-host with the most.
With the co-most.
But anyway, no, it's me. I'm Ryan.
Happy birthday, America.
That's Josh. I thought he was going to introduce himself.
I'm Josh. I was excited. I was filled with the patriotic spirit, my man.
Enough about us.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Let's get right into it. I have been talking about this movie at the end of almost every podcast for the last month or so.
You have been very excited because you're a big Edgar Wright fan. I am as well, but to no comparable degree.
He's one of my favorite filmmakers. We talk a lot about... We've had discussions before about like what young, up-and-coming filmmakers we're excited about.
We have, yeah.
And Edgar Wright stands almost above them all for me. And this is his first movie outside of comedy and without his normal group, like him and...
I was expecting a bit of a hot fuzz.
Yeah.
And I got much more than that.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Which is funny because it starts firmly rooted in a hot fuzz style.
Yeah. I mean, let's just get right into it.
Yeah, dude, I said let's get right into it, so let's get right into it. It starts with that classic Edgar Wright feel, dude. Everything's lighthearted, very funny, and it gradually progresses to something much more serious in a very cohesive and fluid way, and I was on board for the ride the whole time, dude. I really enjoyed Baby.
Yes.
Himself.
The character.
Yes, the character is named Baby. For anybody who was in doubt. Man, just... I don't even know where to start with this right now.
It's true.
The way... This is obviously I wonder if he built the soundtrack before the movie.
I think, and I was talking to you about this earlier, I think absolutely. Not only do Edgar Wright movies feel a certain way because he's a writer-director and he
has his own take.
He has his own control over the movie to a certain extent.
Yeah.
This movie had to be based around a pre-selected soundtrack.
He's been working on this apparently for a very long time.
Yeah, and it's...
Pre-Ant-Man days.
It's in the writing and the directing and just how the movie flows. The soundtrack had to be picked first or a lot of shooting these scenes would have been impossible.
Yeah, and that was what I was going to get into. The way he utilizes the music makes the film feel almost like it is a musical without being a musical.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I thought that was brilliant.
Because the soundtrack is integral to the scenes and the pacing.
They're doing
even just the characters' actions.
They're doing things like when there's gunplay and actions, and in the action sequences, it's particularly great because when they're firing their guns, it's to the beat, and the way he drives his car, he'll do a drift just at like a slide on a guitar or something like that, and it's amazing. There's the opening scene, not the opening scene, but the second scene where he's doing the coffee run.
Yes.
As he's walking down the street, people he's passing are having phone conversations where they're saying the lyrics to whoever they're talking to on the other end.
Lyrics are spray painted on. There's graffiti.
There's graffiti on the walls. He's doing a little dance number. It's something to behold, and it's all one solid shot.
Yes, a lot of that going on. There's
a lot of that.
The
in
soundtrack is very integral to the entire movie, and not only that, it's not the soundtrack to the movie; it's the soundtrack
to Baby's
life.
Yeah,
and you get it since it's a movie about Baby. It all ties in so beautifully.
Yeah, they explain why music is so important to him in the movie. And you get early on, without that explanation, that music is important to him.
Yes.
And it's much more than the trailer talks about, where it's just there to tune out. He was in a terrible accident as a child. He's got tinnitus. He plays music in his earphones, according to everybody else, to tune out the ringing in his ears.
Yes.
But it is much, much more than that, and you get to learn what it is through through the movie.
Yes.
And it's a great story, dude. That little bit was a very impressive part of the story.
I knew the soundtrack was very important in a lot of the marketing and what Edgar Wright was talking about beforehand. But
because even the trailers did a lot of this, what goes on in the movie.
But I thought it was a little more superficial, like, oh, they all have baby in the title, or they say baby in them, or whatever. But actually, no, it, like you said, it's borderline musical.
Yeah,
and it was not what I was expecting. And I'll say that I've seen the movie twice now.
Yeah, he went and got a second viewing,
and these things pop, like, as you're less focused on the plot because you know it's going to happen, you start to just notice.
You start paying more attention to the visuals.
To the visuals and to the soundtrack and to even what's not being said, because there's a character in it where it's all American Sign Language and things like that. And
I liked that character a lot. I really liked Joe.
It built Baby's character more than everything else in the movie, probably.
Yeah.
So,
because this is a very stylish film, more so than there's not a lot of story, but not a lot of spoken story. I should say. It's all told through visuals. This is Edgar Wright's best visual, dude. These are his best visuals. I really enjoyed everything that he presented in this. It's a movie where you can identify influences in it without it feeling derivative.
Yes.
It's not imitation. It's just because like I said, it starts off like an Edgar Wright film.
I was gonna say, it's not imitation,
and then it starts to expand.
And while it's not imitation, while it's definitely homage.
Yes.
It's almost barely that, because it's, while you know where the inspiration came from, it's done in just such a fresh, cool, different way than all the rest of, there are tropes in it that are fucking necessary to the genre.
Oh, yeah.
But...
Well, it is an action movie, so we need those action movie bits.
But every bit just felt different than what it was clearly homaging to.
The way he does his dialogue in this is much different than anything he's done in Flavor's Cornetto or Scott Pilgrim
versus the World.
It's less. It's punchy, but it's more Tarantino-esque in that you get a lot of. There's a lot of metaphors going on, and dialogue is building tension. It's building your scene with some of this dialogue that goes along. And it's all just, but it never feels like you can pick out, like what he's taking it from. It's just that there's a certain feel to it, and you know that that's what he's going for. And you're like, man, that's really good the way he did that. And it's interesting to see someone else do a take on those other, like you said, tropes and that style.
And I'll say, even outside of Kevin Spacey, which is a very cliched character, but written and beautifully acted almost for him.
I swear to God, he wrote that character with Kevin Spacey in mind, because it is a very Kevin Spacey type of character.
Yeah. And
nobody does it better than Kevin Spacey.
Yes.
It was amazing.
And he felt like the most cliched character of them all. But in a good way. Because he killed it.
Because cliches are not bad things, especially when you're celebrating them, which is what this movie does.
Yes.
It celebrates its cliches and its stereotypes and utilizes them in beautiful ways. And it also subverts a lot of expectations through these cliches.
I was going to say, in a movie that subverts expectations a lot, that's where he kind of stands out as a cliched character. Is all that I meant.
Yeah, well, you can always identify who that character type is.
Yeah.
And he is that character type, and then all of a sudden, that character type does something that character type would not do. Oh my god!
It's like, I know it was a roundabout way.
Stop saying character type.
But like, you expect the in like a buddy cop, you expect the angry sergeant, the angry captain rather.
Yeah.
And things like that, which, like, you're not mad that they're there. It's just like that character has to be there. Mm-hmm. Everything else, there are characters that fill their role within a pretty cliched arc, I guess, but they all just feel different from the norm.
One of the best ones of that, I really think, was John Barenthal's character.
Yes.
He only has a brief appearance. I really thought he was going to be in the whole movie. And he does so much in the scene that he's there to affect the rest of the film and the character of Baby. He's foreshadowing embodied, basically, in the film. He's fantastic. I loved his character. He does his thing, and then he rides off into the sunset. And that's the end of John Barenthal.
and what I was talking about earlier, as far as like a second viewing of this movie goes, it's just as enjoyable as the first time because you start to pick up on all the foreshadowing and the cool bits like that.
This felt like a movie that you want to watch multiple times to catch everything. It's not like one of those times where it was like, oh no, you have to see it again because then it'll make sense.
Yeah, Prometheus will be better the second time. All right.
Yeah, Prometheus, Blade Runner, all those types of...
Blade Runner, fucking The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight, all that, yeah. You'll catch it and it'll make more sense. And it's like, no. The movie still doesn't make any sense. This movie makes perfect sense right up front.
Yeah.
But you will catch little Easter eggs and little tidbits all over the place that you told me one that I had caught on the first viewing. And I was like, yeah, dude, no, that was brilliant. It's towards the end of the movie. It's a great scene.
Yeah.
But, like, it feels like such a love letter to me of the classic driver, fast car, crime type of movies that came out during the 50s and the 60s, like Grand Theft Auto, Gone in 60 Seconds. Those are the only two I can think of right now.
Yeah.
But, man, it was so classically themed, and you get little homages to that type of thing in the flashback and the dream world that Baby has
later on.
They're really cool little asides that happen.
And again,
and even I'm sorry.
Well, no, and even even with the homages and the love letter to a lot of these clearly identifiable inspirations. The characters still feel different. So,
yeah, it is a very great modern take on those, and that's what I'm trying to say.
And they fixed. They even with some characters, they even fixed some of the problems with it. While it still suffers from some of the problems later on
of the genre. But we talked about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But Baby is, I think, wholly unique in a story like this.
Yes,
because instead of just being told that they're a better person than the circumstances they're in, but then they kick somebody's skull inside of a fucking elevator, etc., etc. This is just a kid who
got in over his head.
Is very talented and likes doing what he's doing, but he wants to be completely detached from what the implications.
Yes, and how he tricks himself into not being a part of that. The way they visually establish the tricks
he doesn't sit with the crew. He barely watches what they do when they get in the car.
He looks very unattentive.
When they get in the car, he does his job. And I know that's done in something like Drive. I don't carry a gun. I don't sit in while you run it down. I drive. But at the
100,000 roads in the city.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's very aware of what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
He's not He
will do things to position himself so that he can't see the crime.
Yeah, exactly. Through story of his circumstance of why he's even there, plus how he acts and what he decides to do, like his decision making throughout his time in this world. He feels different and actually feels like somebody who doesn't belong there.
He is he is 100% a
not just a
character.
guy who's slightly less crazy than everybody else.
No, he is 100% sympathetic character. Almost a dopey sidekick.
Because a lot of these other movies, it's like they're the likable character, but at the end of the day, they are just pieces of shit. Like
you watch his fall.
Yeah.
Into this world, and it's that's the whole plot, and it really does a lot of character building through, like I said, more visuals than actual spoken story.
Yeah.
That's where I see a similarity to something like Drive, which was purely visually driven. But like you're saying, he's not a questionable character right off the bat. He becomes a questionable character.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. It's, as I said to you at one point, this is a more light-hearted Drive.
Yes.
And that's what it is. It's because Baby is such a likable guy. And you're with him for the whole movie. And you're kind of sad when you see him become that thing that he didn't want to be.
Yeah.
What a great...
What a great deal.
Wow, what a great deal. It's just so... It was great, man. I really... God, dude, it was just great. I enjoyed it the whole way through.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Up there with Star Wars, Back to the Future, Drive, Baby Driver. It's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
I always switch between saying Scott Pilgrim and fucking Hot Fuzz because I can never fucking decide.
Oh, yeah.
It's most definitely now Baby Driver and fucking Scott Pilgrim for me.
Yeah, I asked you earlier if it had taken the place of Scott Pilgrim at your top for Edgar Wright, and you said nah.
Yeah, because that was all... Because the thing with Scott Pilgrim is...
It is so stylish.
It's all Edgar Wright's style.
Yeah.
Mixed with amazing writing that's somebody else's.
Somebody else's storytelling, yeah.
And when it comes down to the Cornetto trilogy,
yeah.
I like his style and I like the writing of Simon Pegg. You know what I mean?
And to compare with other Edgar Wright scenes, this is the whole film is that scene in Shaun of the Dead where they're beating the zombies
to Don't Stop Me.
Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. And it's just so... The guns are going off to the beat, and his car is moving to the beat, and they do little meta things where he's got to start the song over to befit the scene, and it's
you like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you think that the soundtrack is to the movie, but it's not. It's his own soundtrack.
Yeah, no, it's the soundtrack to Baby.
He goes, all right, let's go. And he goes, hang on, I gotta start the movie over. I gotta start the song over.
I gotta start the movie over.
Sorry. I gotta start the song over. And he's doing the beat, and he goes, okay, go.
Okay, go now. And they all can get out of the car.
He's singing it to himself, and that's kind of how he's timing things. And he's also not looking. He's like, nope, I'm just focused on my music.
He's just looking straight ahead, singing the song, looking at the iPod, pulling the car forward so he doesn't have to look and see what they're doing. You know, it's
and it's not and like that's what I was talking about when I like Baby's character, because he's not a guy who's in it and thinks he's better, who has ideals, even though he's in that world. It's like
he has a delusion.
You learn early on he doesn't want to be there. He did not start in this world and just worked his way up here.
He made a mistake.
He was forced into doing this, and this is just later on.
Yeah.
So,
dude, and then Lily James's character is that great classic lady, dude. Mm-hmm. She's got that kind of grindhouse type of sidekick lady feel to her, and I thought her character was great, dude. I really enjoyed her.
I liked it too. And
their relationship was so detrimental to his character.
I thought initially she was like way too on board with somebody who was clearly at that point a dangerous criminal.
Yeah.
But I will say that he actually had not, to her knowledge,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, to her knowledge, actually murdered anybody by that point.
Yeah.
Sure, he shot a guy, but he was clearly still alive.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I liked about her character, was she's that classic naive girl with the bad boy.
Yeah.
I thought that was great, dude. Like, and she's working in the diner.
I felt like with some of the modern spins that it was a little weird, but
yeah. See, no, I enjoyed that bit of that. That was a lot of where I picked up a lot of that old 50s, 60s style, where the girl almost chooses, not like, it's abundantly clear what he does and what kind of person he is, and almost like fooling herself into thinking that he isn't doing this.
I wanted to pull an old example out, but then I realized that in the original Scarface, it was actually his sister, right? Was it not? I believe it was his sister.
Might have been
that went down with him,
dude.
But she was just still just like, yeah, haha, let's smoke these pigs.
Yeah.
Etc.
No,
but you're right. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you're right. That is quite.
And it's just, they do a great job of making her look like one of those like Rita Hayworth, Greta Garbo type of characters. Like, she does not look like she belongs in the modern world. Yeah. She looks like she fell out of a 50s
Another
movie.
Strange thing that they do in this movie that I like a lot is they do the classic flashback, sepia tone, better days.
Yeah.
But what you have to realize is that this is the mid-2000s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was a kid. He was a 10-year-old
Well, he's
kid.
sitting in the back seat listening to an iPod.
8 to 10-year-old kid in the mid-2000s. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, it's this memory of a Christmas past.
They almost
the sepia tone, but it's like he's opening an iPod.
They almost make it look like it's on 8mm film.
Yeah,
like it's or shot like home video camera style. That type of thing. Like, even the 80s type of look to it, and it was great. It was, dude, it was so great, dude.
It was an interesting take, especially like just mixing classic style with what is clearly a more contemporary film.
Well, and it's like, with the music that they chose, this is like Guy Ritchie, James Gunn, but the music is, like we said, so integral to it, dude. And to me, it felt like a movie that, like, what if Guy Ritchie hadn't become such a hack?
Yeah.
And I love Guy Ritchie, but, like, fans of any of his earlier work, like Snatch or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, this movie is, like, right up your alley. But it's all much better used than it is in that film, in those films. Dude, I just, and it's like I said, dude, you see Guy Ritchie, you see Tarantino, there's bits of Michael Mann, but it's all so natural and none of it feels derivative. Like I said, dude, I was blown away.
It's a talented writer director bringing his strengths to a genre that he hasn't done yet.
Yeah.
And it was just...
Because this is just... It starts off like a comedy, and it becomes just a pure action film, dude. It's a crime movie. It's a crime action movie.
Yes.
And it is so well done, dude.
And well acted.
Very well acted.
John Hamm and Jamie Foxx.
Oh my god, dude.
Props.
I
hate Jamie Foxx.
I was just going to say that, dude. I am not a Jamie Foxx fan. Collateral was probably the last good movie I think he ever made.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And he was... Dude, I hated bats.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to hate bats. And I loved John Hamm because, again, much like Baby, you watch his descent. And that was the thing, like, I loved about the movie was you see Buddy, which is John Hamm's character, and Baby, and they are such a mirror of each other.
And in a world where he basically has nobody on his side,
yes,
he felt like a person.
Buddy was like a big brother to him.
He was very sympathetic to his situation, I think.
You've got a real familial kind of bond with Kevin Spacey's character, Doc.
Yeah, where a lot of
Buddy.
Yeah, a lot of the other crew members we're like, hey,
always busting
this
his
guy
chops.
thinks he's fucking cool and he thinks he's better than us and he just drives the car. And Buddy's like, he does his fucking job.
Yeah, what the fuck do you want from
And
him?
he's a good kid.
Yeah,
Like,
leave him
that's
alone.
it.
He's a good kid. He does what we want to do. That bit where they're sharing the earbuds from the iPod,
Yes.
and they're talking about that one killer track, that one that gets them going, dude. And they're both just sitting there listening, and they're both just fucking enjoying the Queen, having a good time, dude. And then Bat starts busting chops again, and Buddy takes the earbud out and is like, yo, bro, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
You never had this problem?
Yeah.
Like, you never had that, not problem. You never had this? Like,
And it was nice to have a mix of those characters because it's like Bats was insane.
yeah.
And
Bats
fucking-
is batshit crazy.
And even Darling and Buddy, even together, were just like, they didn't even care if they were discussing something in front of Baby.
They felt very comfortable in front of Baby. They just opened up in front of Baby. But like on Darling's side of it, I felt like she, to a lesser degree, liked Baby.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
she genuinely thought he was just a moron. That they could do whatever the fuck they wanted to in front of him. He just drove the car. He's just there to serve a purpose. I think that Buddy genuinely liked Baby.
Yeah.
And that was the difference between the two of them in their dynamic. Because Darling is just a fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's terrible. I mean, they're all fucking crazy in the movie, you find out. But
They're still dangerous criminals.
yeah, they're still dangerous criminals. But like, I felt like Darling was kind of walking like Buddy's cool with him, so I'm cool with him.
Yeah.
Dude, no, I enjoyed John Hamm more than I've ever enjoyed John Hamm, and I really like that guy a lot, dude. But this is probably his best role for me.
I agree. And speaking on, so we're talking about like the actors doing very well. I like Baby's character.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that Ansel Elgort was particularly great in that role. I feel like it could have been cast better.
I agree, dude. I felt like they were trying to go maybe for like a Ryan Gosling type of performance. Again, we're talking about Drive again. Me.
Yeah, but then, like I told you, I thought maybe it was intentionally done
And
where
I agree.
where your brain is fully aware that this kid does not fit in.
Yeah.
And so I almost feel like that was
Well, because they make
intentional.
constant reference to how he does not look like a part of the world or not. Pretty soon, we're not going to have to deal with that anymore. That's going to be great.
Well, and the fact that I feel like he shines
Thank you.
every scene that he's out of that world, I feel like he does great.
Yeah, no,
So
the
it's-
scenes with Joe and the scenes in the diner with Debbie
Yeah.
he's fantastic in. But when he's in the criminal element, he does not belong there at all, dude.
So I
And
feel like maybe it was intentional.
like they got like a pretty boy.
Yeah.
For a pretty dopey boy, you know, dude. Like, I don't know, dude. I agree with you, but I feel like they made reference often to that enough to where you were supposed to pick up on the fact that Baby doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
But then like the problem becomes when he does, it still feels like he doesn't belong here.
Yes.
No, I get what you mean, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
We gotta review a movie. We gotta talk about a movie one time where we're just so polar opposite on it.
Right.
Yeah, man. I
Look forward to this weekend.
oh yeah, look forward to Spider-Man: Homecoming. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have tons of negative shit to say about that.
He's prejudiced.
I'm over it, man.
Josh is prejudiced. He doesn't understand that there's a general audience like perception of what Spider-Man is versus what like a hardened asshole
Hard
piece of crap,
jaded. Oh, really?
jaded
dude? Really?
fucking comic fan might think of the character. And like 85% to 90% of the people who are going to see this movie are going off of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. or the cartoons.
Hey, all right, you watch your tone. Spectacular Spider-Man was one of the best Spider-Man cartoons that ever existed, and Marvel canceled it.
Let's just talk shit before we even see the movie.
Why not? I do it anyway.
Why not? It's what we're best at.
We've been doing it for DC the whole time.
So this is exactly why I said I wanted to get Baby Driver its own episode.
Exactly. No, dude, I agreed with you, and I agreed with you, dude. I don't want Baby Driver to play second fiddle to a movie that I'm probably not gonna like.
That being said, me and Josh's opinions are probably not going to be too far off. When he's being a cynical asshole, he's still actually able to recognize when a movie is good as a movie.
Right.
So, that's why he's a co-host here. Co-host.
Wow, dude, you really like putting me in my place on this one, don't you, man? I thought we developed this together.
This is 100% a 50-50 venture. 60-40.
70-30.
We haven't drafted the papers yet.
You signed a contract on a napkin.
I kept it.
It's in my pocket right now.
So, when it comes to Baby Driver, I hope we didn't spoil too much. I will say, if you've seen any trailers, we probably haven't.
No, I think we've stuck pretty good to the
That's
trailer
one of
summary.
my biggest gripes was...
certain things that are going to happen from the trailer.
If you've seen a trailer while you're watching the movie, if you remember a scene you've seen in the trailer, you'll be like, well, shit, this is going to happen for this to happen.
Yeah.
And I know it does, because I've seen the trailer. That being said, they did a very, very good job of spinning scenes for the trailers that don't go down the same way in the actual movie.
No, there were some scenes that I expected something total. For instance, dude, one character I really thought was going to be super important.
And not only that, it goes another one. It's shown with the dialogue, and then in the movie, it's shown with, as most of the movie is, with what Baby actually hears.
Yeah,
which is mostly soundtrack.
Yeah. It's that part was great, dude, because once again, we're coming at it from Baby's point of view and not the audience, I guess is the way to say. Mm-hmm. Like the audience in this movie becomes Baby quite often.
Yes.
I thought that was great, dude.
You never leave Baby's side.
No. Well, God damn it.
There's not a single shot that Baby's not in.
Exactly. You are definitely with Baby for the whole film, dude. It's a great fucking ride, dude. And it's such a great ride that when it hit the lull and they did a bit of dialogue and a bit of plot development, it almost felt like a totally different movie, but still a good one.
Yeah.
Like there's a point in the movie where everything kind of shifts gears, and it's when things start to escalate.
I was gonna say it kind of slows down, and like you said, it's for the sake of escalating the situation that Baby's in, because he has been very sheltered in his role within these jobs.
No, yeah,
basically
dude.
This was to show you that, like, oh shit, he's not just gonna sit in the car.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he's not just showing up to drive.
Yeah.
He's fucking with these guys for 15 hours.
He
straight.
is almost I would say, a protege.
Yeah.
For Kevin Spacey's character.
Mm-hmm.
He's grooming him.
Yeah.
I felt like
It's and it's mostly like
without getting into spoilers.
nobody's there to like make sure, like, nobody cares about him at that point.
Yeah, the gloves are off. No one is coddling Baby anymore.
Exactly. So it's like, no, dude, fucking you and Bats kind of don't get along. Fucking this guy is kind of an asshole. Tough shit.
Yeah.
Go do this.
You're
thing.
playing with the big boys now. Baby becomes man.
I mean, you kind of learn that I don't think that was the initial plan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was actually supposed to just be driving, but Bats is an asshole.
Yeah. God, let's not get too far into it. We don't want to wreck too much for people.
But like I said, when it slows down, it really does have its purpose.
Yeah, and like I said, it feels totally different, but it serves a purpose. It's for a reason, and it still gets you because they're building that tension. They're building what's going to be happening from there on. And that's the thing that I liked the most about the movie, was it's got steps. Like, you go from this crew to this crew to this crew. And each one is an escalation, and each one has a separate feel. And it drives the movie forward. Nothing feels like it's ever just lagging. There's just quiet moments.
Yeah. So anyways, that's Baby Driver. Go and check it out for the love of God.
Yes, please.
Please go watch this movie.
This movie is doing well, and we want to see it continue to do so. If you're tired of the comic book stuff, if you're tired of the Transformers, Baby Driver is a fantastic way to take a break.
In a world where it's second in the box office, only behind Despicable Me, which we have Cars, Transformers, and Wonder Woman, which Wonder Woman is a good movie, but old nonetheless.
Yeah, it's that comic book formula.
Please keep it there because
yeah.
These movies need to make money, or guess what? We're only going to be talking about Spider-Man 5.
Yeah, we don't want to see a Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Where a great movie goes completely unnoticed. And thankfully, this movie is doing as well as it is. Please keep supporting this original content. These original films that are struggling. It's an R-rated film, which has already got some points stacked against it.
Yeah.
And it's rising above the standard, the status quo, man. It's doing great. And
in today's climate, for sure.
Yeah, man. Just let's keep it going with this, dude. I'm really, really behind this film. I really want it to do well.
For sure. All right, Josh, let's get to the nitty-gritty of our pandering. And shilling, rather. So
Marvel makes fantastic films.
Yeah. Shut up. The check hasn't cleared. We can't say that Spider-Man's an amazing thrill ride yet. So thank you very much for listening. Whether this is before or after our Guilty Pleasures episode, that meant a lot to us. We love
that was a fun just shooting the shit.
We love filming. We love filming whatever episodes that are not linked to a movie. That being said, again, expect the content to start flowing in almost what I would say our intended state as soon as the new studio is up and running, which is the beginning of August, so we're about a month away. But leading up to that, we wanted to get this out, and we're still going to do Spider-Man. Don't expect much else besides that. Look forward to August. But we are still going to deliver on our promises of Baby Driver and Spider-Man, which we
got a lot of stuff coming your way.
We've given you fucking, teasers for the last few episodes.
Oh yeah, no, we've been super pumped for Baby Driver, and we've been hyping the Spider-Man Homecoming, good or bad.
Probably good.
Probably. Totally subjective. But yeah, no, we got a lot of content coming your way. Just give us some time to get our new digs up and running, and we'll be right there with you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, for real. So I have been Ryan.
I'm still Josh,
and you can catch us on the next episode of the Mighty Fish Podcast.